This video clip has been brought to you by IT in Canada, Canada's only integrated social media news network. Find us on the web at www.itincanada.ca.
Hello and welcome to IT in Canada. I'm Michael O'Neill and I'm joined today by Don Duncan, Senior Enterprise Architect for HP Canada. Don, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Our research has shown 4 key drivers for cloud adoption. I was hoping I could bounce those off you and get your reaction to what you're seeing for each of them. Let's start with cost.
Cost is definitely one of the reasons why organizations are looking at cloud. Primarily with cost, we see basically a reduction in terms of operating expenses. So the ability to deploy services, reduce the costs associated with those services, but again, at the same time, being able to deploy them much more quickly than probably what they're doing right now. What we're seeing with customers is that many of the manual tasks that they're doing in terms of deployment of services could actually be better suited using automated services, as an example.
Well, that's a great lead into the second leading reason that we're seeing in our research for adoption of cloud, which is IT productivity. How does cloud make your customers more productive?
What cloud does is it allows you to have self-service as a model for the consumers to go out and essentially pick and choose what services they would like to consume when they're ready for it. What we're seeing is an evolution of the existing IT model where you typically would call a help desk and place a service call. What cloud allows you to do is basically have the user fulfill their services based on when they need them, how they need them, and the ability to still have some level of customization based on the level of service that they require.
So from an IT professional's point of view then, that would entail services like provisioning test dev servers that...
Exactly. So how do you enable or how do you help your users become, get what they need when they need it much more effectively? In many cases, help them have a level of customization, determine really what the level of service they need, as an example. And at the same time, too, it allows IT not to over-provision. So users can request the services as they need them versus them having IT assuming what those services might need. So what it allows you to do is essentially expand your interaction with the business, and cloud is basically a great way or great mechanism to engage the business much more effectively.
And then presumably once the IT department is able to build experience with self-serve provisioning, it's able to roll those services out to the rest of the organization.
Correct, and that's really what IT is looking at, is identifying what are the services that the business needs. What are the things that basically the business requires that is going to be, allow them to go to a self-service catalog, go through, identify the things that are value to the business, whether, as you were saying, provisioning a development server, whether it's provisioning a SQL database, whether it's onboarding a new user to the business, as an example, a new hire. Those are all different types of services that business users require, and how can you identify what those services are and basically essentially create a catalog that those business users can go through and consume the services that are most relevant to themselves.
Thanks. Let me shift gears altogether and ask you about mobility as a driver for cloud adoption. We're hearing a lot of buzz about how mobility and cloud interrelate. What are you seeing at that intersection?
Well, mobility is really just an extension of the existing computing environment, and really it's an evolution. So typically where users would have been tethered to maybe their desktop, they have the ability to now use different form factors, whether it's a mobile device, PDA, a tablet, take those devices and basically be anywhere and consume those services from any location. What we see, cloud is really an extension of, again, that services model. So the ability to go through and access that service catalog, whether you're home, whether you're in an office, if you're a teleworker, as an example, being at home using a virtual desktop, the ability to consume those services no matter where you are. And with the high level of internet connectivity that we have within Canada nowadays, we're seeing more and more connectivity types of devices being a requirement.
For IT in Canada, I'm Michael O'Neill with Don Duncan of HP Canada. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.